Wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining the beautiful Natalie Grzic and myself tonight. I am thrilled to invite Natalie to be our presenter for Creating a Bright Future. I love the name Creating a Bright Future. It is all about what is the purpose of us meeting together once a month, and that is to create a bright future for us and everyone that would like to come on, everyone that watches the recording, to just increase and learn from everyone else the skills and the techniques that we have learnt over the years that help us build $1 million business, because that is the big goal as well. But we are going to break down those goals into much smaller bites. And for those of you that don't know Natalie very well, Natalie has been with Nutrimetics since she was 19. I think it was 19, was it, Natalie? 20?
Maybe 21, something like that.
21, since she was 21. She still looks 19. And Natalie she really has learnt and practiced this business so that it just comes automatically to her. I'm sure that Natalie is a walking encyclopedia about the Nutrimetics business. She has the most beautiful daughter, Malika, who is the center of her world, I'm sure, together with Herb, who has just come back from Africa on a wonderful trip. So he's been tripping around the place. And Natalie, like myself, we absolutely love the lifestyle. And if I were to sum it up, what I believe that Natalie really enjoys about Nutrimetics is being her own boss and choosing when she wants to work, when she wants to ramp up her work, when she needs to take care of that beautiful daughter of hers. Not going to be long, and she's going to be in school. So that's going to be super exciting. And of
18
course,
months.
Natalie's mum, Afka Grzic, started in Nutrimetics in the 1970s. And we are great friends. I absolutely love Natalie's mum. Been to Natalie's wedding when she married Herb, and we have shared so many great times, so many seminars, so many conferences, and really have a love of helping others. And if I were to say something about Natalie, it's her willingness to help other people to be successful. And she is an excellent teacher. She is a great teacher. So I would love to welcome Natalie Grzic, and I am thrilled to have her as our guest speaker tonight. And Natalie will share so much of what she has learnt about this business and some ideas for the month of July as well. So let's start July with an amazing plan and an amazing goal, but those goals can be little goals as well as big goals. So whether you are on this just to learn a little bit about Nutrimetics, or whether you are on this call to learn a lot about Nutrimetics, that is what we will share with you today. So over to you, Natalie, and thank you so much.
Excellent. And hello, everyone. It's always lovely to be on and sharing what I'm up to and what I think makes the difference in the business. So before we get into it, I'm just going to share just a little bit about myself, because I know there'll be some of you who don't know me, even though I can see there's a lot of people we go way back. So yes, as Louise said, I was quite the Nutri baby. I pretty much never used anything that wasn't Nutrimetics, to be honest. However, I did grow up thinking that I would never do Nutrimetics. It wasn't something that I thought I could see for myself, because I wasn't a beauty girl. I wasn't a particularly outgoing girl. I wasn't interested in makeup. And I don't think I really was that into being around a lot of people. I actually studied as an accountant, and that's what I went to go into after I finished uni. After I finished uni, I went on this big trip overseas. I was gone for like 9 or 10 months, and by the time I got back, I knew that I couldn't see myself having a normal job. This was in 2001. I couldn't see myself having a normal job. That what I wanted was the ability to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do. So despite never really ever wanting to do Nutrimetics, I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And that's probably the first point that I have. It's like, if you're going to do it, like, just commit to it on whatever level that you can do it. So, obviously we've all got different circumstances. At the time, I was able to go all in, and I did. And I thought, I'll give this 6 months, I'll see what happens. And after 6 months, I'd earned a trip, I'd earned a car. I was earning enough money to be financially independent, which I'd come back from overseas completely broke. So that was good. And I found that I loved what I was doing way more than I thought that I would, to be honest. But I was lucky that I had a job that was so uninspiring that it really made leaving it very easy. Let's just say that. So I always say it's a good thing it wasn't a better job. Otherwise, I might have just sat there in my little comfort zone. And it was a great. I had a great start because I was focused. I knew what I wanted, and I believed that I could make money with Nutrimetics because I had seen it around me. I knew people like Louise. I knew my parents earned a lot of money and they didn't work very hard. And so that I didn't have that doubt. And, often we do doubt those kind of things when we go into something new, because we always know that person that tried it and didn't happen. But the good thing is, on this call, you have got literally a dozen people at least right now who've been making it work for them and their lifestyle for decades. So, you can take comfort from that reality that so many of us have these amazing businesses. And so that's why I got started. And I've been, so it's been 24, 25 years. I've been on so many trips. My first goal when I started was to become a sales director, which I did within 2 years of joining. And that was because that was what my focus was. I thought, as I said, I was committed to really learning and growing. And interestingly, I was young. I didn't have a lot of skills at that time in terms of working with people, coaching, mentoring, but I really wanted it. And the good thing about that is it made me really willing to learn, because sometimes I'd get feedback that I didn't overly like, but I would think about it and I would be like, okay, well, what am I going to take from that and how can I learn? And I think that's one of the key things I wrote down about how to create a great business, is to make sure that you are evaluating yourself and taking feedback and thinking about, well, what can I do differently? What am I happy with? And keep learning and keep growing. So that's really a big theme, I think, for the business to move forward and grow. So I love the community of Nutrimetics as well. I just think it's awesome that people have, the ability to work around their life and still feel drive and passionate no matter what stage of life they're at. And that was certainly something I didn't see in my career as an accountant. Pretty much everyone was miserable, to be honest. So the thing I really probably love the most, though, is just the skills that I've developed in terms of my personal development, greater self-awareness, and really an understanding and belief that I can create the life that I want. And you might go off on a tangent every now and then in life. Things can throw you off, but I've always been able to come back and think, right, I know that with intention and focus and clarity about what I want, I can move forward and grow my business and create that great life. And Nutrimetics is only just part of it, but it's the vehicle for me to have all the other things that I want, like being with my child. She's getting close to 4. So the last 4 years I've been able to really be a primary parent for her and have that time with her, and that's been great. So a bit less time on Nutrimetics, but the other big tip that I have is to focus when you are doing it, to just focus on doing the things that matters, because I feel like I've actually achieved a lot, even though I've worked less than I would have in the past to build my business. So let's talk about, so yes, I've been on lots of trips. I've made lots of great friends. I've built wonderful skills and driven so many cars, wouldn't even know how many. And that's an amazing privilege for sure. So let's get straight into it and talk about where we're all at right now and how we're going to really prepare for the best months of the year. So July is the start of the biggest months of the year, and what you do this month right now is going to impact what you achieve over Christmas, for example. So the first steps that I have in terms of just general is you need to clarify your goal now. If you haven't already got a clear goal, clarify your goal of not just what you want for this month, but actually what you want, where you want to be sitting in December. So maybe you want to elevate, maybe you want to achieve the next trip, maybe you want to have a certain income goal of what you want to achieve. So the first step is getting it down on paper, having that clarity about what you're working for, because I always, you probably heard them talk about, if you're wandering through life without a goal, it's like getting in a car without having a destination in mind, just driving randomly, just picking the person in front of them and following them. So, I can't emphasize it enough to really think forward. Where do you want to be in 6 months' time? And then work backwards to make sure that what you're doing now is going to create the habits and the skills and the networks that's going to make that possible. So I think some of you, of course, will be newer to Nutrimetics, and maybe you're not aware of just how much amazing income you can earn at Christmas. But it's really staggering. We do, for those doing parties, you're regularly selling at least a minimum of $1,000 at your Nutrimetics Christmas gathering. So what you're doing now is creating those contacts and networks to be able to talk to then. So have a little think about where you're at, what you want in the next 6 months. Make sure you've got it down. Make sure it's exciting you, because if the thing that you write down isn't the thing that makes you motivated, it's easy to sit home, watch Netflix, and sit under your blankets. So you need to make sure it's exciting. One of the things that I've found over the years with a lot of ladies is we don't let ourselves kind of think big. You want a goal that's big enough to be exciting, but also not so big that it's unrealistic and you don't in your mind believe that it's possible. So it needs to be big, but you need to also feel that it is a possibility for you. So that's what your mentor and your upline's there for too, to discuss the goals and make sure that you can see a pathway to it. But if you struggle a bit with writing things down, a good line that you can start with is something like, if I knew I couldn't fail, this is what I would want. So to just let your creativity expand your thinking a little bit. So anyway, July is really important. It is a month where we've got obviously school holidays. We've got conference, which is going to be a big part of the excitement of the next 6 months, like all the new things that are going to come out, all the skills that are going to be learned, whether or not you're coming or not, that's still going to flow to you. So let's focus on filling our diaries right now, getting in front of people. I always say to people, if you are talking in front of people and especially if you're putting products on them, you are going to be making money. And my strategy over all these years was walk out the door 3 times a week, put product on people, whether it's 2 people or 6 people or 1 person, but just to have that habit of doing that. And that is what has helped my business to be so strong, helped me build a $1 million business, and just have that discipline to just make sure that you do it. And if you can't do 3 times, focus on what you can do, because these days, compared to when I started, there's so many more ways to grow your business. I mean, like things like Facebook and things didn't even exist when I started. So you've got other avenues, but have that principle of being in front of people 3 times a week, whether it's virtual or face to face. So fill in your diary, whether it be through facials or masterclasses or parties, whatever you want to call them, or even just connecting with people if your focus is more on customer servicing and selling. So we'll talk a little bit more about all that in a minute. The thing that I want to put to you for this month is I want to set you a challenge to get outside your comfort zone this month, to just do something. Often it's the thing that you should have been doing for a while that you haven't done, that you need to do. I find often when I've got something that's been in my head, oh, I need to do that, I need to do it. But you just sit on it, you don't. When I finally do it, it's like doors open everywhere. So for example, a few months ago, I'd been thinking I need to get in front of some new people. So I actually asked someone about doing a collaboration with them. They're a wellness practitioner that I know really well. And, I thought I'll ring her. And she was like, great, let's do it. I'm already organizing something. You can come in. Let's do it together. And I brought some of my network and she brought some of her network. And it just worked out so well. But I could have asked her 3 months ago. But I didn't. I mean, it was good timing because she just opened a new venue. But you probably all got something in your head that's been like, I should do that. I should do that. So my challenge is go and do it this month. Step outside your comfort zone and really set an intention for this month that July is the start of an amazing 6 months, that the people you're meeting now are going to be part of something wonderful that you're going to create over the next 6 months. So I'm really about setting intentions and putting things out there that I'm looking for and wanting to attract. So I'm going to talk a bit more about that as well as we go through. I'm a big user of mantras or affirmations, but just really just setting that intention of being super clear about, like one of the things that I put out there a few months ago was how much I really enjoy actually working with and coaching people. That's one of the things I love the most about the business. And I really wanted to meet some new people to do that. And just by really thinking, okay, this is what I want. I want to get back into the joy of doing that. People just came again into my life. I believe that when I put that intention out, it comes back. And I know we've all experienced that in this business, but expand your thinking that it can happen in all areas of the business. If there's a part of your business that you wish were different, maybe you want more bookings, maybe you want more active consultants, maybe you've got a sponsoring block, whatever it is, think about that area and create an intention or a mantra around it that really helps you like to break through it and say, I've often said to my ladies over the years, close your eyes, draw a line in the sand and just walk across the line and say, that is something in the past now. That's in the past. And now it's my intention to meet amazing consultants that I can help to grow and develop, or it's my intention to meet hostesses that value me and what I'm offering. Whatever it is that you're wanting, if it hasn't been happening for you, just draw that line in the sand mentally, jump over it and start fresh. So I've done that so many times and it's a very freeing thing to do. So as you'll notice as I chat, so much of what I have achieved has been using these principles. I'm someone who likes that 80-20 rule, put the energy to the things that matter. And, so I really try to focus my activities on the things that will generate income for me or generate results. And you can't go past training your brain. there's so many amazing resources to train your brain, to think the right way, to clear blockages, to move forward. There was a great lady called Dana Wild that she did a whole train your brain segment about direct selling. I think she's got a Facebook page and whatnot called The Mind Aware. So, you know, if you feel like that's an area you need to focus on more, look into those resources. The good thing is they're everywhere and they're free. And then you are taking control to change something rather than waiting for it to change. So I like to be very proactive with that kind of stuff. So that's why it is important to do the old checkup from the neck up and make sure that your mindset is in line with the things that you're wanting. So anyway, that's a little bit about why July is important and why tonight is the night that you decide what you're wanting for the next 6 months, you know, because people who achieve, for example, manage or achieve a trip, it doesn't happen by accident. They decide and then, you know, the wheels start churning and the right things happen to get to turn it into a reality. So let's talk about some of the practical things that I'm working with and encouraging my team for in July. So first of all, making sure there is a clarity and an excitement around the goal. That's first and foremost the most important thing. And making sure, like I said, if it's a money goal, what are you going to spend that money on? And right back from the early days, my parents taught me, you know, if you're going to make X amount of money, even if 80% of that money has to go to bills and have tos, or 90%, you always need to have a 10% or a 20% that's going towards something you want. So in the case of my family, I think it was something like the first 60% went to bills, then 10% or 20% would have gone to a family goal, and then whatever was left, my mum was able to do what she wanted with. And that was what she worked for. She worked for her me money, not for any of the other stuff. And anyone who knows her knows she was a massive personal seller for many, many, many years. And boy, did she love buying beautiful things. And that Nutrimetics allowed her to do that because she got rid of all the have-tos, and that was her why. That was what she wanted. Other people, it's travel, but tap into that. And get it down on paper. So what am I doing? So like I said, it's the school holidays, and I know last school holidays we had a wonderful lady in our team, Nicole. She really leveraged off the school holidays. She really got people coming to her home because that's what suited her for facials, letting the kids run riot while she did facial treatments for the mums. So, you know, this is about having an attitude of what can I do and focusing on it. Because obviously there's some people who are going to be away, but there's a lot of people. Like I was in a room with dance mums this morning and I asked who's going away, and not a single one of them was going away. It was business as usual, you know. So all they did was talk about how they can't afford to go skiing, so they'll be staying home. So, you know, thinking about teachers, connecting in with teachers and how you'd love, like maybe people you've already got in your team, saying, hey, I always, when I'm connecting with people that I already know, I always say, hey, it's just a courtesy call, just touching base, just to see how you're going with your products and what are you using and how are you liking it. And actually, Sue, I would love to pop over and actually give you a beautiful, relaxing glycolic facial treatment, because I know you're a teacher. I know you've got a little bit more time. So let me come over. And by the way, I can do that for yourself and up to 2 or 3 others. So I find things, you know, doing something like that works. I think the glycolic facial is a great opportunity because it's a brand new product nobody's tried, and it's a product that you can see a benefit with straight away. Nutrimetics just posted on the Facebook page a before and after picture of some hands from the trials. I don't know if anyone saw that, like it was just today or yesterday, but just showing, like, it was a really demonstrable picture. I just saved it and put it on my Facebook page, but it just goes to show, even after one use, how much of an improvement you can see with that product. So it's great to have a product you can get excited about that's new, that people don't know. So that's one thing. I also often like to encourage people to do a facial challenge. So particularly newer people. So for those of you who have teams, I will do like a online skincare training, and then at the end say, I'd love to set you a facial challenge. So anyone that wants to do my facial challenge, it's just asking 10 people if you can borrow their face, and they need to do it within 2 weeks so that they get that momentum of learning and building their confidence. Because if it extends out too long, then they can't remember what they learned at their last facial, as an example. So the facial challenge is great. Usually what I do is I say, when you do your 10 facials within 2 weeks and you fill in the form, I will give you $100 worth of products towards your kit. So that's something I do within my own ESM ship. But you can do whatever you like. Maybe you picked up some spare lip treatments with the last sale we had last month, or you can work it around what you have, or maybe you got a spare OLC 1 litre with the great bundles we had last month. So incentivizing people, I find that works really well. And then I just give them a basic step-by-step for the facial and a basic selling checklist, and get them to just take the action. And I'm always surprised, there's people that want to do that facial challenge that I just didn't expect. So usually I just throw it out there in my group. Hey guys, I'm doing a facial class. To be honest, I usually just do it directly into my group, because I find the most people watch it if it's in the group. And then once, of course, you get a few comments, then more and more people see it because it's getting energy. So I do something like that, and then say, if you've enjoyed this, I'd love to set a facial challenge. Who wants to do it? And like I said, there's always people that surprise you or just get a refresher. And we all know that I always say with the facial challenge, even if the first few people you do are just people in your own household, it doesn't matter, because it's just getting used to it. And once you've done 1 or 2, you kind of get excited to do more. So that's more for newer people, or for those of you who've got people in your group you might not even realize would be interested or jump at something like that. So I mentioned as well about organizing a collaboration. So I'm doing another with collaboration, I just mean finding someone else who's got a big network and organizing an event and kind of feeding off it. So the last one I did, the person had a space that we could do it, which was great. I didn't even have to get a space. So just having a think, maybe it's a hairdresser, maybe it's a wellness professional, Pilates instructor, doesn't matter. Anyone that could share a tip or wellness tip, wellness tips, and you do a little bit of beauty tips and have a special offer, and it works really well. I actually got quite a lot of bookings and some sponsors just from that one event. There was only maybe 10, 12 people there, but so it was a bit bigger than a party. But interestingly, the person who did it doesn't normally have parties for me because of where she lives. It's not doable. So it could be another way to connect with someone who maybe can't have parties but does have a network. So either that or events, or I'm doing something with someone who's very involved in a networking group. So she organizes things with her kind of girls networking group. So we're going to do something that way. So just think a bit outside the box. As I said, really focus on what you can do. If you've got the kids at home for 2 weeks and you go on a conference and maybe you don't feel like you have a stack of time. Well, last month, my husband was away the whole month and I actually accomplished quite a lot. I was pretty impressed, mainly because people asked me to have parties and I had to go and get some babysitting. But anyway, that's the power of momentum. When you set your goals and you're excited about them, things just start happening for you, which is really nice. So got off the topic a bit. Yeah, focus on what you can do. Focus on taking meaningful actions each day. And I've always said this, if you can do 3 meaningful actions a day, your businesses will change so much. And so quickly, like really within a couple of weeks, you're going to start to see it, especially if you suffer from a bit of procrastination, or have some self-sabotaging habits. I actually watched this great podcast by that lady, Mel Robbins. In fact, I listened to her audiobook. What's it called? The Let Them audiobook. That was a really good audiobook if you just feel like you want to kind of get into a proactive mindset. It was very easy to listen to, but she did a podcast about just the doom scrolling and just getting too addicted to your phone and how that was a real issue. And that's really interesting. If you suffer from a bit of that, I recommend listening to that podcast. It was really interesting. And, things like that can suck up your time. So I'm always like super conscious to just put the phone down. The good thing with having a young child is you can't look at your phone too much anyway. Otherwise, all they want to do is look at it. But it means that it stops that kind of a habit. So what else have I got? Sponsoring. So it's really, I just find if you don't put sponsoring front of mind and focus on it, it often just doesn't happen. Or you might get the people, but it's also about how you follow through. Like I had a lady who'd done 400 BV, and last night I just texted her with the free shipping and I just said, did you know you're only 100 BV off getting the next reward? I didn't even tell her what the reward was. And she's like, how much is that? I'm going to do it. And she just did it. And that's just because I just messaged her and said, did you know? So I think just being on top of the contacts with new people and connecting in with them is like makes such a massive difference. So setting a goal for sponsoring, a non-negotiable goal. Right from day one, I've always worked with non-negotiable goals because that meant that if come hell or high water, I was going to make it happen. And when you kind of commit in that way, it's funny. Like people can call you on the last day of the month and want to join because in your mind, it's like, I am doing 10 or I'm doing 20, whatever your goal is. So write it down and decide this is a month that you are going to add X amount of people to your team. I mean, again, I'm sure Louise would like to say 20 plus, but if 20 plus feels like too much to you, just focus on doing what you haven't been doing. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 15, whatever. But just put it out there and then make sure that it's front of mind. So by front of mind, I like to work with mantras. So if you've got a sponsoring goal or a booking goal, whatever it is, a good mantra that has worked well for a lot of my people is I attract hostesses who value me and what I'm offering, or I attract consultants who value me and what I'm offering. Because especially when people are new, I often found like they were always feeling like everyone was doing them the favor to do the party or whatever. But just by shifting it, that people see their value as opposed to always feeling like everyone's doing your favor. So if you set your sponsoring intention and then create a mantra around it. So I attract excited new consultants who value me and what I'm offering, or who are excited about Nutrimetics, whatever it is, something that feels good to you. One that's worked well for ladies is people say yes to me, so that whenever that little negative voice is in your head going, oh, no one's interested, just people say yes to me. People say yes to me. You can do a home party too. Like I did a home party a month or so ago, and I invited some of these mums that I'd been meeting that I wasn't sort of super. I didn't know them very well, but not everyone came, but some people came. And one of the ladies, she joined straight away, and she's already done 400 in orders, and so things like that. Focus on what you can do. On a Saturday night, I can get my daughter put to bed, and I can invite some people over, and they can have a nice glycolic facial scrub or a makeup tip session or whatever it is. What else? So yes, so set yourself a little mantra, and in the chat, feel free to drop in if there's something that's jumping out at you that you're thinking, yes, that's resonated with me, because I think it's really good for your recapping. Always encourage people to recap their learnings or their aha moments or their rememberings of things they used to do. But yes, so the thing is that you find the sponsor goal, and then you create the mantra around it, and then you ask yourself each day, what am I doing today towards growing my team? And if you ask yourself that every day, you start to think of things. You go, well, I could do the thing I haven't been doing, which is inviting acquaintances to my home to get to know them better and put it out there. So, or I could ask the person that I've been putting off asking or whatever. So when you set a goal, that mantra and putting it out there where you see it every day, and then asking yourself, okay, what can I do today towards that goal? I mean, that's how I became an SD within less than 2 years. It's just asking myself every day, what am I doing today to grow my business? And being accountable for that, and look, Nutrimetics, I always say it is a bit of a roller coaster. Good things happen, bad things happen, good things happen, bad things happen. And the earlier you kind of recognize that, I mean, it's just really like life, isn't it? So I always say that with Nutrimetics, it is a roller coaster. You're going to go through all these things, but the key is to ride a roller coaster like this and not like this, So I found in the early days that once I accepted that there was always going to be the person that cancelled, and then the person that called with a $300 unexpected order, and then the person who wanted to join, and then the person that told me they didn't want to join, and that's all part of the business. So just have an attitude that that's normal, and just ride it. I had a lady join last month, and she wanted to do it, and then she didn't want to do it. Then she was putting in more orders because she was showing the brochure to people, and people were interested. So, just the thing that I always try to say to myself is, and this is how you stay on top of the mind management of Nutrimetics, because if you let yourself go on a roller coaster, you just get thrown off course, So I just always say, well, I know where I'm going, and if not this person, someone else will come along who is interested. And I think most of you would have heard the train analogy, that you are driving your train to success, to the things that you are wanting in the business, in your life. And you're going to stop at all these train stations along the way, and you're going to meet people, and you're going to say, Joe, jump on my train. And, some will say yes and some will say no. And some will sit at the station for half an hour deciding if they're going to say yes or no. And we need to just be able to keep our train moving and be able to say, it's okay. And if it's not time for you right now, my train I'll be back again. I'm here. You know where I'm at. I'm going to keep moving. And I think that's a fundamental it's a fundamental thing for this business, is to have an attitude that you are riding your train to success. And as long as you know where you're going and you are taking the actions, those people are going to be there that are attracted to your energy. It's an attraction business. That's why it is important to have good, excited energy. That's why it's important to be excited and have goals that excite you. And even if they're goals that scare you or you haven't achieved them yet, if you've got that energy around you, people will be curious. So, you always want to do that checkup from the neck up and make sure what you're saying is lining up with what you're wanting. So if you've set this goal about how you want to make, I don't know, $2,000 a month from Nutrimetics, but the words that you're using every day is, everyone's busy, or people use other products, or no one has any money. Like, you can see that language doesn't line up with what you're wanting. I mean, there's money. I'm in Sydney. There's money everywhere. Everywhere you go, people have got handbags of all sorts of bags full of shopping that they've just they've just bought. So of course there are people that don't have money, and they're the ones that will want to make some money. And then there are people that do have money, and just put it out there that you meet the perfect combo of them all. People who make who have money that they want to spend, and people who are looking to earn extra money. But just make sure like what you're saying is lining up with what you're saying you're wanting, because that if that is not in alignment, that right there is going to be a big hindrance to you moving forward and moving beyond where you've been up till now with Nutrimetics. So let's go back to my list. And if anyone has any question, you can pop it in the chat. Thanks for the lovely comment, Jenny. The other thing is what I've been finding works really well is doing a YouTube video about the brochure. So yesterday I did a live into my group about the June brochure, and I did a video that I just recorded onto my phone that I uploaded to YouTube, which is basically like, hey guys, here's the July brochure. Let me take you through the highlights. And I got that idea from Sonia months ago, that she'd been doing it for a while. And just kind of taking people through the offers, because I find people don't always look at all the offers. And, just talking about them all. I talked a little bit about the deodorant on the back, just to get people thinking about trying things they wouldn't normally. So I've been doing that every month, and I make it super generic, so I can send it to a customer and I can send it to a consultant. So I don't talk about a thank you gift, I don't talk about discount. It's just generic so that I can send it to anyone at any time throughout the month. And one of the things, so I create a unlisted YouTube video, which means that only people who have the link can watch it. Just because, it's a pretty casual link. It's me literally jumping on while my daughter's sleeping, going, hey guys, here it is. So you don't want to make it a big deal, because if you make it a big deal, you won't do it. And so I like to, I found what works the absolute best for me is doing WhatsApp broadcasts. Like, I just get such good results with them. So I know many of you will know WhatsApp, but what I like about it is, first of all, you can send. So usually what I do is I do an image, and I create through Pic Collage one image that has a few different offers on it, because people can just zoom in on their phone. You can attach an image, a YouTube link, and a brochure, and it all reaches them. It's not like they get lost in the in the cloud. WhatsApp is really good at delivering all the material all at the same time. And if you do a broadcast, you can add, I think it's 250 people into one broadcast. And if someone replies to you, they're just replying to you. It's not a group. They're not replying to everyone. I've just found, since I started doing that two times a month or 3 times, depending on the offers, people respond to me way better than they do through text. It's free. I can see who opens them and reads them, because the WhatsApp has the little ticks. And it's just quick. You easily can add people into your broadcast. You can take them out. So I really recommend looking into that. I've found, since I have done that, every time I send one of them out, I get people ordering and replying back to me. And I can see how many people are viewing the video. And it's not a lot. Maybe it's 30 views. It's nothing massive. But, these kind of things you can do help create engagement with your team, because a lot of people aren't on Facebook, or don't look at it, or the algorithm doesn't put it in front of them. So that's something I have found is great. So I've got 2 broadcasts for team, because I've got more than 250 people, and I've got one for my clients, and I just find it works better than email. I get more response on it. So and it's quick, because you set up the broadcast once and you don't have to keep doing it. So what else have I got on my list? The amazing bonus gift. Like, I'm really going to work with that for July. Like, 4 wellness products, that's like 200 retail worth of ingestibles, things that people go out and buy and consume every single month. Has everybody seen it? With a 500 BV order, they get the collagen boost, the greens. So I'm going to be doing a bit of the shakes and the beauty fizz, the energy boost fizz. I'm going to be doing a bit of education in my group about those products, so that people, if they don't achieve the bonus gift, they're going to at least know about those products so that they might actually order them. So that'll be good. And I just again find if I see someone's done a $300 order, just connecting with them and saying, hey, that's amazing, Louise. Did you know that if you do another 200 in orders, you're going to get a coupon for $200 worth of free products? So just being on top of those things. And End Central's great because you can actually just put in the criteria, anyone who's done an order over 250, and it will just bring those people up, easy for you to see. So really working with the bonus gift and obviously achieving it yourself, depending on your level. I'm sure most of you guys watching will do that anyway, but having a think, okay, who can I get excited about this? Because I find that if you get people to earn a bonus gift once and then twice, then they create that habit. They're going to keep doing it. And really that's going to help make your business more solid. The same with the Starbucks. So key, I find, and the same with the initial rewards. So I find what works best is keeping on top of it when people have done an order, saying, hey, did you, texting them. So whenever someone's done their first order and they've earned their first coupon, I just text them, and it's the same text pretty much for everyone, but I just say, hey, Lynn, great news, you have earned your first coupon and it is going to expire in X days. So I just take 2 days off. You know, if they ordered on the 16th, I just say it will expire on the 14th, and it's in my text chain with them then. So then I know always when it is expiring. I can look at my own text chain rather than have to go back to my reports and look. Say, so this, and I attach a picture of what they get. And so often it makes them go in and do an order. So just setting a bit of time aside each week to make sure you connect with your new joiners, the people who are close to bonus gift, the people who are close to Starbucks. Jen, I'll answer your question in a tick. So just making that a part of your routine. But if you are sometimes a little bit slack with some of those things, you can go back to people who joined in January and just, even if they haven't got the coupons, just connect with them. How are you going with your products? I just wanted to check in. I wanted to invite you for a glycolic facial, whether it be something you're organising at your place or going to them. A great line that I found has worked really well is ringing someone and saying, hey, Lynn, I just wanted to call and thank you for all your wonderful ordering and for being such a support of Nutrimetics. I'm actually going to be in the area next week. I've got to drop something off to someone. Have you got some time that I could pop in and give you a treatment? And I find that works well because I just say something really vague like I've got to go there at some time next week, and then find out when would work for them and get them to invite a few people. So one time I did that, and the woman had like 5 people there. It was her craft circle, and they, you know, this was like 20 years ago. There's people all still ordering because I just found a way to go to them. They weren't super local, so I wanted to make a time to pop out. Sometimes people are willing to have you pop out, but they don't necessarily want the pressure of booking a party, for example. So how long do my product launches go for? Jen, do you mean my little brochure highlight? I think probably 5 to 8 minutes, something like that. In this one, I really put the energy obviously into talking about the glycolic, explaining the product and what the fact that it is so it can be used on the hands as well as the body as well as the face, and that it is such a large packaging because it's just really good value for money. And pretty much what I said is, well, you know, with the glycolic, you know, most of you will order your moisturizing system anyway. Why not, for an extra $33, try that glycolic? So really, I really was emphasizing, and the same with people in my team, not just my customers, really emphasizing these duos because people are going to be ordering moisturizing system anyway. I know I'm like completely out of it. Well, I've been using my tester at the moment. So, it's been a little while since it's been there. So people are going to be ordering those things. And what I find is people don't look close enough to see the bundles, and they don't look to see, like when you've got like the Aqua Boost, buy one for 50 or buy two for 88 or whatever it was, they don't always see those offers. So I just really like to emphasize them. So I think these two duos are absolute winners at that price point. So I spend a bit more time on that and the eye creams, the things that need more time and energy, and then brush over the things that don't need a lot of discussion, like the foot set. But I do go through every page because, why not? If someone's watching for 5 minutes, they'll watch for 7 minutes. So, so anyway, let's have a look. Also, whenever we have conference, so just getting back to July, whenever we have conference, there's always new product launches. There's always special promotions. So I think, what you're doing now, get yourself ready, get out there, do a basket promo to meet some new people that way. If you do baskets, or putting up free facial offers or a referral system with people to start to meet some of their network. I know a lot of people do posting about free facials in local groups. Whatever it is, just do a bit of a push this month to make sure that you can get out there and put products on people's faces this month, and then that's going to spur you on to really be ready for September, October, November, to really get that momentum so that you can earn the incredible income to go on that trip you want to do, or do your renovation, or whatever it may be. So I talked about following up your sponsors and also your inactives. And if people have lost their account, just reconnecting in, and I just send them a little text and say, hey, it's Nat from Nutrimetics. Hey, just checking in how you're going with your products. Because a lot of people don't lose their account because they're not interested in the products. They just maybe have a bit of a stash. So I usually just say, I can actually help to reactivate your account. And the good thing is now people can I find a lot of my ladies just log in and go on the public site and just rejoin themselves. But don't forget those people. Don't think that just because someone lost their account, they're not interested in rejoining. Usually it's just because it wasn't a priority for them at that moment, particularly if they're people who ordered from you for a long time. So let's finish off with a few tips for how I stay focused on achieving my goals and the key things that make the biggest difference for the business. So the points I have here is always asking yourself, like, what can I do today towards my business? And if you can't do the three meaningful actions that I mentioned earlier, and if you can't do three, because, obviously if you've got bigger goals, you probably want to have more than three meaningful actions. And if you've got smaller goals, maybe you have one or two. But I find for consultants, group leaders, SGLs, if they really just focus in on 3 a day, every day that means they're asking themselves, what's something meaningful I can do today? Whether it is following up about people wanting to join, or it is doing a facial, or having an event. So it really is about chunking it down to daily activity. And if you did that 5 times a day, amazing. Even if you have the weekend off or whatever, this is about the daily disciplines that get you what you want. And I remember years and years ago, I was on stage, I'd got some award, and I was chatting to Mary Richards, who'd also got an award, and we were on the stage going, oh, I didn't even think we'd done that much this year. But it was just that power of being consistent. I'm not the best. I'm certainly not the best at makeup. I've I've done a couple of makeup masterclasses. It hasn't suited my situation to do that right now because of my family situation. And also I'm not a great makeup artist. Like I do them for in people's homes. I've done a few that I've organized, but it's not my focus. I personally love the skincare element, and I do more basic how-tos of makeup, helping a normal person who just wants to know a quick day-to-day routine. Like, that is my niche. So if you don't want to do big makeup masterclasses, even though they're incredibly successful and they work really well, there's other ways to get your results. So I'm saying that in case it doesn't resonate with you, because that's the way that that I've done it. And got off the topic, can't remember what I was going to say, but just focusing on what you can do, being super clear about what your goal is, what you're working for this month, and what you're working for 6 months down the track. And the vision statements are great. I think many of you will have done a vision statement before, where you write a day in the life 12 months from now. Just type it out in present tense. Today it is the 3rd of July, 2026. I feel so excited and so grateful because I have really created the life that I want. I love my company car. I'm so excited to go on my trip. I love my new kitchen. I love working from home. Whatever it is that is in your vision, your uplines can help you write a vision statement or give you more tips on it. But that's another way of really clarifying your goals so that it's in your subconscious, so that you really know what success looks like for you, like what it's going to mean for you. Because actually, sometimes people don't know, or they say when I'm successful, but they don't really know what success is going to look like in their day-to-day life. So the other thing I wrote down is always evaluating yourself. What am I happy with? If you do a facial, what am I happy with? What would I do differently? It's good to do when you're driving home. I had 6 people there, but I didn't book. What could I have done differently? Okay, I could have made more placed more booking seeds, or I only had 1 person there and the hostess had been super excited. What could I have done? I could have done better hostess coaching. So you can write that down on a piece of paper or just think about it. But this premise of looking at what you've been doing and asking, okay, well, what can I learn? How can I make it better? Like, those disciplines of just taking consistent action and asking myself how I can improve have make a big difference to honing your skills and getting better quicker. And using the mantras or affirmations, whatever you want to call them. Just pick 1 or 2, particularly if there's an area you want to work on in your business. As I was saying earlier, ride the roller coaster. Don't let yourself get caught up in the high or the low. Just keep moving, keep your blinkers on, keep focused. And Laura's written, she's done her vision, she wrote her life story. Wow, amazing. It is super powerful. It's really worth doing. Thanks for sharing that, Laura. It's really worth doing, even if you've done it before. Like, I did it, I don't know, 6 months ago again, because I felt like, my life was completely different to the last time that I'd done the vision statement. So I wanted to go back through and really, again, think about what you're wanting, how your life looks when you're really on fire and excited. So I wrote down, focus on what you can do and do it, because I know some people are incredibly busy. Just do it. Don't let doom scrolling or procrastination or Netflix or other people stop you. Just open your mouth, talk to people, put it out there. Some will say yes and some won't, and that's okay. And the last thing I wrote was, we are in an attraction business. So just making sure that you do that checkup from the neck up and make sure that you are in an attracting position to attract the kind of people that you want into your orbit. And that comes with it's not about how you look, it's about your mindset, it's about your vibe, it's about your energy. So, for example, a few months ago, I just realized, I'd stopped exercising. And, when you don't exercise, you kind of just feel it affects your vibe. So I thought, right, I'm getting back into that. And just by doing that, I just found straight away that I had more energy about me, and I felt more, more motivated and more clear, and more motivated to take action. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be perfect, but you just want the thing. I'm going to finish up now anyway, but the thing that I always found really great was this idea that if you are here and a wonderfully skilled, perfect professional is here, you don't need to go from there to there. You just need to like gradually improve. And each time you improve, like incrementally, things will start to happen, and you'll get the results, you'll learn the skills, and you'll be moving forward. And sometimes people are so focused on feeling like they have to know everything and be everywhere, and it's just not true. Like, I remember when I first joined, I sponsored 10 people. It was like my second month, and I remember crying. I was like 21. I was crying to my mum, going, I don't know what to do with these people. What is this? And I didn't need to know. I just needed to focus on doing and then learn at each step. And you wish you could bottle that energy and excitement of when you're brand new. So whatever you might lack in skills, you make up for in that whole energy that the rest of us have been around forever. Always try to get back into the energy of, because it's the most exciting time when you're starting out and you're really creating that early stage of your business. So I think that's about what I was going to talk about. So if anyone has any questions or wants to put something in the comments that you got taken away from this, like I said, the main thing, I really want to challenge you to get outside your comfort zone, get clarity on your goals, and work out your strategy for July for some of the things that I've mentioned, and just take that consistent action. And a month from now, you'll look back and go, oh my gosh, those basic things make a big difference.
Natalie, that was absolutely superb. I have written pages and pages and pages of notes, darling. Oh my goodness, the tips, some of them I have heard so many times, and some of them it's just been exceptional, Natalie, absolutely exceptional. And we could just restart today and know exactly what to do from what you've shared. Just brilliant. Everything from mindset to the action steps to the discipline to, I love the fact that you started life as an accountant, but you didn't like your job. So that was a great inspiration. You believed that you could earn a great income, and that over 24 to 25 years, you've been on so many trips. You became a sales director in 2 years. You were committed. You really wanted it, and you kept learning and kept growing. As an accountant, everyone around you was miserable. So it was just really a no-brainer for you to take this on as a career.
To be fair, it was the organisation I worked for. It wasn't
I
all
understand,
accountants.
but I'm so glad they were like that, Natalie. I'm so glad, because sometimes opportunities just arise because of those sort of things.
Exactly.
And you work this business with intention, and that was something that you said again and again and again. And I believe that by repeating that, every one of us can get clearer on what we do and have more clarity on how to be successful and just make this month of July so good. I totally agree that July is the start of the biggest 6 months of the year. So if we really focus on, it's a new beginning. Every month is a new beginning. Every week is a new beginning. But the beginning of a financial year is a huge new beginning. And we can then decide, okay, what am I doing really well? What could I do differently? Where can I go? And what do I want out of this business? And most people don't know what they want, Natalie, but that's why we're there to be the teacher and the guide. And it is one of the most exciting parts, is to make a difference to other people's lives. And that's what you do day in and day out. Think forward of where you want to be in 6 months' time, and let's focus on filling your diary. And Marina, I love what you've just said. Reset, restart, and get going. And I think you've said it in a nutshell. So get out of your comfort zone. And what came through as well for me, Natalie, is just your sheer enthusiasm and sheer commitment to doing what you do, and doing it with discipline and with consistency, and also improving your mindset. And I know that Adam has been listening to Mel Robbins. He's just obsessed with Mel Robbins. I've also listened to some of those podcasts, and she's absolutely brilliant at getting you to get out of your head and be realistic about life. So good on you. Can't wait to see you at conference. Can't wait to share all of our amazing, fun activities that we do over the year. I will be in Sydney for our Christmas get together, so that will be fun. And I really, really appreciate everyone coming on tonight. Really appreciate it. And love you to share this recording with all of your consultants and your friends, and see if they would like to listen to how to be as successful and even more successful of this gorgeous young girl, young mum, juggling life, juggling all the different hats that we have, and doing it with love and intention and discipline, and having a bit of luck in there where some of the people asked you to have a party. I love that. Talk about a sign of what you're supposed to do. And sometimes opportunities arrive and people open the door, and that's exactly what you did. You opened the door to all those opportunities, even though your hubby was away for ages, and you went, okay, we'll get Malika organised, and we'll get out there and do those parties. The time is now. So thank you, Natalie. Thanks so much.
Welcome.
So excited for next month. And we have the beautiful, I just confirmed today, the beautiful Sonia Wilbo sharing with us on the first Thursday next month of how to create a bright future. Lots of love. Lots of congratulations to everyone that hit their goals in June, and congratulations and thank you whether you sold one lipstick, one mascara, or a Nutrimoist, or a DNA and a platinum set. And that's what makes Nutrimetics great. And we are all, those of you on today, we're the engine room of Nutrimetics, and Nutrimetics does not work without us. So congratulations. Well done, everyone. Thank you. Thanks again, Nat.
Thank you.
Love you so much, darling.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.